At some point in our lives, there will be a time when we stumble upon a realization that makes us question our own integrity and self-image, whether about life in general, a specific event, or about ourselves. This type of realization can be difficult to accept because it usually goes against what we think things are or should be. Choosing what to do with it can feel like standing at a crossroad where we can either cover our eyes and pretend that it ever happened, or stand up straight and learn something from it. This video is about my journey on the second path. In my early 20s, I said and did a lot of careless and insensitive things to people. It was never with intention to hurt or put someone down. It usually came from a place of ignorance and carelessness, but it was insensitive nonetheless. I am not proud of it, but I had accepted that it was normal, a part of being young and stupid. And I guess I didn't know the exact weight of my words and actions until I reached out to an old friend of mine who I hadn't seen for a few years to apologize for not being a better friend to her. I don't know what I expected, but her response was definitely not it. She basically said that she didn't understand how she could tolerate being friends with me for so long. And that is when it hit me. The words and actions that I carelessly threw around had an impact on someone who I care about in a way that I didn't intend them to be. My initial reaction was defensiveness. It's funny because even though I was the one who reached out to apologize, I still had the urge to explain and justify myself. Fortunately, I was able to be aware of that and to remind myself that the purpose of messaging her was to own up to my mistakes. Therefore, I need to honor and respect her experience and feelings. This is a beautiful human being, and it was my own ignorance that caused her pain. Regardless of whether my actions were intentional or not, I should just listen and give her the space to freely express how she feels. The conversation went pretty well, I think, as I acknowledged my mistakes and she accepted my apology. Unfortunately, as much as I would have loved to make amends and work more on our friendship, I could recognize that she was not very into that idea, so I gave her space and not message her anymore, even though I did want to at times. Until recently, I found out that she had removed me as a friend on social media. And I would be lying if I said that that didn't bother me, because it did at first. My initial thought was that, oh my god, she has not forgiven me. And then I felt guilt and shame and probably a little bit of unfairness as well. My thought process went from, oh my god, what I did must have been truly horrible, to why hasn't she moved on? And by the time I reached the latter, two realizations hit me like a ton of brick. The first one being, it's me who has not moved on because I'm still letting all this bother me. And the second being, she is the one who has officially moved on. And it feels like a switch in my head was flipped completely. Instead of feeling guilt and shame, I started feeling happiness and peace. This may sound ridiculous, but I realized that her moving on and being able to completely cut ties with me means that she is happy. And her being happy and being able to move on makes me happy and at peace. Sometimes just a slight shift in perspective can change entirely how we feel, and that is exactly what happened for me that day. By observing my inner space and being open to possibilities, I was able to see things from a different angle that I didn't even know existed. So I guess I don't really have any inspirational or motivational lessons from this story, as that's not what I'm trying to do on my channel. The purpose of making this video, as well as other videos on my channel, is to share my personal journey as a fellow human being on this rock spinning in space. So I hope that this video brings you some values, and if you want to share, please feel free to. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a beautiful day and I will see you in my next video. Bye.